The tier list. I'm sure you guys have been seeing these videos everywhere because I have, and I just wanted to give it a shot. I gotta take this moment to rep my favorite video game series, Shin Megami Tensei Persona, or just Persona for the newcomers of the series. I think this is appropriate since a new Persona 5 Royal trailer just dropped at E3 and Persona Q2 just had its US release a week ago. Now, if you hadn't heard of the Persona games, you're gonna be completely lost watching this video because I'm gonna talk about some pretty weeby stuff. The word waifu is just the Japanese pronunciation of the English word wife, and the meaning can range from an appreciation or affection of a Japanese anime character to full-on obsession or worship. Generally today, people just use it more like a term of endearment in the anime community, and I can make a whole video about waifu culture. If you guys are interested, just let me know in the comments if you want more waifu content. For these rankings, wifey qualities are definitely a factor. Things like age, personality, determination, backstory, and of course, physical qualities will all be taken into consideration. I'll only be talking about the first 3 Persona games, Persona 3, 4, and 5. That was a joke, but seriously, I won't be talking about Persona 1 and 2 characters, although they are great contenders. I haven't beaten the games yet, but I'm playing through them. Also, there will be slight spoilers for Persona 3, 4, and 5. Nothing too crazy though. I'll try and keep it on a minimum. Without further ado, I'm gonna rank the best and the worst waifus in the Persona series. And I'll just remind you that I'm gonna try and be as impartial and objective as possible. Chihaya is S tier. You should have known this was coming. She's an easy S tier. Chihaya is physically the strongest teammate you get in the game, who can attack all enemies at once and can boost your team pretty early on. And I never took her off my team, ever. Not only that, personality-wise, she's super adorable and super humble.
Like that all of a sudden.
Yeah, she messes around with you and Yosuke, threatening to beat you up when you take her ramen and her trial of the dragon. But you know she's not serious and she actually loves you guys. And when you have your Valentine's and Christmas events with her, she's just perfect. So Haru gets a C tier from me. I mean, you know, nothing against Haru, she's great, but I feel as though she just wasn't fleshed out enough. She's just a less good version of Mitsuru with a floof. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I definitely see the appeal. She also likes to garden, which is cool. She's got an axe.
You shouldn't annoy a girl with an axe!
She's also the only Persona 5 girl who basically confesses her love to you regardless of your choice. And the more I talk about this, the more I regret putting her as C, but as far as personal preferences go, I just have to put her as a C. I mean, you know, let's hope she has a better story in Royal. Metis. Trash. Ew, I hate Metis. The first time she meets you, she tries to kill you and she somehow resets everyone's level to 1 and makes you forget all your skills. Thumbs down. You guys remember that nurse from Persona 4, Sayako? She was great because you could actually go there and get some money at night. Remember how she straight up hits on you, a high school student? D tier. Remember guys, social linking is not consent. She has some redeeming qualities at the end though. She chooses to do volunteer work, which is always a plus. Caroline and Justine. And before you say anything, they can be on this list. They're like thousands of years old, right? They're awesome. They were actually my favorite Velvet Room attendants. Their boss fight was so much more interesting than all of the other Velvet Room fights because you actually had to take them both out at once. Despite how they act, they actually care about the protagonist a lot. And I've always preferred tsunderes over kuderes. Some people like them though. Caroline gets a B and Justine gets a C. Sorry. We'll put Lavenza up there with Caroline though. Let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum. How do you feel about older women? Too old. There we go. Kawakami is amazing. She gets A tier. She's hardworking, she's got a steady job, 2 steady jobs. She can fish, leading to the greatest non-story / confidant interaction in all of Persona 5. And she gives massages, which can basically double the amount of time that you're awake. And I need one of those massages. Easy A tier, and she made the anime worth watching. Do you guys remember Mika? I kinda do, barely. She sucks. She almost ruins Ann's life, but she also pushes her to do better, so, you know, there's some give and take. Also, remember when I said that physical qualities are taken into consideration? She gets an E. Speaking of teachers, Miss Toriumi is such a memorable character. Like Kawakami, she's more adult and refined. She's got a full-time job, and she's a gamer.
Gamers, rise up!
Her social link in Persona 3 is one of the best out of all of them. Well, Persona 3 social links were very good. Really, I think they're easily the most forgettable out of the 3 games, but Miss Toriumi has an amazing payoff by the end of the game when she finds out that you were the guy she was flirting with online. Despite being embarrassed to no end, she still asks you out for dinner. B tier. I'd put her higher, but A and S tiers are just too exclusive. Reserved for true waifus. While we're on the subject of gamers, Futaba gets C tier. Look, I like Futaba. She's your awesome girls next door type that you can imagine growing up with and becoming your best friend and then eventually falling in love with. Conventionally, she's pretty. In reality, she's not waifu material. She doesn't know how to do anything really. She's super messy. Her antics are way over the top for me, calling people NPCs and other video game references. There's also a rumor going around that she probably doesn't shower. I don't know about that. I don't think it's true, but I wouldn't doubt it. Little sister, yeah. Waifu, no. Let's talk about Yukiko. She gets a C. She's your classic Japanese beauty, something the Japanese call Yamato Nadeshiko, the ideal Japanese woman. That also makes her very plain. What we do know about her, she's quirky, she loves to laugh, she works at the end, and she loves chie. She also casts fire. No, seriously, I like Yukiko. She's funny. She loves her friends. She also makes really bad food. I mean, she's not bad. That's why she gets a C. Hanako gets the absolute trash tier. Absolute trash is for people with absolutely no redeeming qualities. I don't hate her because she's fat, although she is very, very fat. She's also very vain and very arrogant. She doesn't share. She breaks Yosuke's bike due to her sheer weight, and she almost kills Teddy. If there was something lower than trash, I'd put her there. For the same reasons as Hanako, Kashiwagi deserves to be in trash tier as well, but I'll put her up to an E tier. Because as a teacher, she has a full-time job, and she's responsible, somewhat. She does give you 2 Gekkokan uniforms, Chie's fighter armor, and Naoto's swimsuit. So, you know, all of those have to account for something. Now, this is probably surprising for you guys, but I'm putting Yuko from Persona 3 as B tier. For some reason, she strikes me as being very responsible. She's already the manager of the sports club, and her social link revolves around taking care of kids. During the game, when she's asked by Ryo, she says that she has romantic feelings towards a member of the sports team and expresses her desire to get married. I mean, if that doesn't scream marriage material, I don't know what does. Now we come to one of the most disliked characters in the Persona series. For some reason, Ichigo Oya. No one likes her. I mean, I can see why. She just sits at the bar and gets wasted every night. But she does have redeeming qualities, like her abilities. No, wait. Well, she has the same voice actress as Yukiko, so that's a plus. Also, you know, my point is she's not the worst person ever. E tier, slightly above trash. Yumi Ozawa, I have something to say about the most disappointing social link in Persona 4. Trash tier. Oh my gosh, she was so boring. The game basically promises that you're gonna be the star in this huge play, but she ends up leaving the club to take care of her father in the hospital. The rest of her social link involves about an hour of oh woe is me dialogue, and you're forced to try and comfort her while virtually rolling your eyes every time you meet with her. A waste of a character. I have nothing to say about Elizabeth. She's so weird, but not weird in a good way. She's just weird. Though her sister says that she left everything to save the Persona 3 protagonist from his fate, which is a huge plus for me. I just don't like her. I don't know, but I have to say, beating her in battle after grinding for 90 hours and not being instant killed by her Megiddo Loan was one of the most satisfying moments of my life. I'm sure some people like her, but I didn't that much. Elizabeth, I present you a D tier ranking. Hifumi Togo, the Star Arcana. And she is a star. She's great. She is by far the most useful confidant in all of Persona 5. She's beautiful, she's a celebrity, but she doesn't let that get in the way of true love. She loves her family, her story gives her a lot of growth as a person, and if you're lucky enough to spend literally all your time with her, as soon as you meet her, you'll get a scene with her in Hawaii. She's also religious, and I like religious girls. A tier. Perfect in almost every way, but doesn't quite make it to God tier. If only she had a persona. P5 Royo, surprise me.
So this is your skill level, huh? The dragon which governs the blue sky has fallen into my hands. How do you intend to survive this?
Rize Kujikawa, a true idol.
Naoto, this is your stat.
Adored by fans all around the world, she's gorgeous, she can dance, she can sing, she can fight. She is B tier. I'm actually almost reluctant to put her in B tier, like almost in C tier. It's not that I don't like Rize, she's just almost too perfect, and that's boring in a way. Her story isn't the most engaging. She decides to quit showbiz, then cries about it and wants to do showbiz again.
I don't know why
That's
I'm
it, that's her
crying.
story. Also, she's obnoxious. She hangs onto the protagonist's sleeve literally everywhere he goes. The moment she meets him,
Where could the goods
she's really sweet though. I love how she interacts with the team and other friends. She has great dynamics with everyone. I guess that's why I'm kind of split on her. However, she does say I love you to the main character, not as part of a social link, but as part of the main story. Now that's something that all the other girls can't do. Yukari, C tier, almost a D tier, on account of her just being so annoying. She seems nice, but she's actually a B word. She's a stuck-up popular girl. She loves insulting everyone, including your best bro Junpei.
This is a tough case, even for Junpei Iori, ace detective.
Ace detective? Are you stupid or something? More like stupe ace defective.
I am the one, the way your son don't need a gun.
She's always annoyed about something, and she's by far the least accurate teammate.
I won't miss. Lame.
Despite her facade, she's actually a sweet girl deep down and has a tragic backstory to back up her personality, I guess. I also have to give her some points out of pure nostalgia. She's the first Persona girl that you meet back in Persona 3. And I remember vividly me trying to romance her way back in 2007 when I first picked up the game. I played that game so much till I got to the crying tables on floor 25, and then I put it down because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't beat him. I was 13. I finally ended up finishing the game last year, so yeah. Anyways, Yukari is C tier. Another C tier and another controversial choice is Makoto Nojima. I don't know what to say about her. She's so boring. She got the same problem as Yukiko, I think, as just being the plain one in the group. She's a student council president, and she's smart like Mitsuru. She's got the martial arts prowess like Chie. She's voiced by Jeremy Lee. But she lacks that special something that made Mitsuru and Chie so interesting. I think a lot of it can be blamed for her lack of an interesting confidant story. A confidant story is a character's core development. Except hers is centered on someone else completely, rather than her. I know there's a lot of Makoto fanboys out there, but I'm not one of them. Ayane Matsunaga. Yeah, I know, she looks like a child, but before you say anything, it's fine, because she's actually only 1 year younger than your main character. She's supposed to be the stark opposite of Yumi, which is enough to put her in C tier. She's almost a B tier, but she just doesn't stack up physically to the girls in B tier. Get it? Nah, seriously. But she's probably the most driven character in the Persona series who isn't part of your main team. And I think being driven is one of the most important qualities to have. She's also hardworking, despite not being naturally talented, which I can relate to for sure. Whenever you see her, she's always practicing with her trombone. She's humble, she's thoughtful. She calls you senpai.
Senpai?
What more do you want? Margaret, B tier. She's like Elizabeth, but better in literally every way. She obviously has the hots for the protagonist, and isn't afraid to show it. She flirts with him all the time. She also sings, I guess, Velvet Room songs.
Have you heard the long-nosed song before?
Velvet room.
Singing is a plus. right? Also, she's one of the only 2 Persona girls in the whole series to straight up make out with you on screen. The other one is Marie, who also gets a B tier for me. Marie's great. She's your classic tsundere who actually likes you a lot. Like, a lot. She tries so hard to hide it, which is great. Unlike the other girls who just say, I love you when you max their social link, she says, I love you so much and I want to be with you forever and ever. I'm serious. And she says that whether you romance her or not. She's awesome. Not to mention her theme song is one of the best songs in the series.
Hey, can we make more? More memories? Dummy, of course you will. I can't make any without you.
Some people don't like her. I just don't know why though.
I hate you, stupid!
Remember Natsuki? No, this Natsuki from Persona 3. Superficial, annoying, super mean, locks Futaba in the gym, almost killing her, and then she tries to become friends with her only after Fuka saves her life, and nowhere near as cute as her namesake. Trash tier. Sayori, another girl who doesn't live up to her namesake. She's not as bad as Natsuki though. Her portrait is kind of off-putting, but she's a genuinely good person who just got unlucky with anything and everything she touches. I'm just not a fan of her. D tier. Now, the artist of Persona 3 drew Rio with a ponytail because he just likes girls with ponytails. I'm inclined to agree. That would typically take her straight to B tier, but she's stuck in C for 2 reasons. Unfortunately, she's only exclusive to the female protagonist storyline, which means he can't romance her, so we miss out on that. And secondly, she falls in love with Kenji. Kenji. I hate Kenji. Chidori, some people like the BT goth chicks. I'm not a fan at all. D tier. She has a boring personality, weak boss battle. All of Strega is basically cancer patients. But she can heal, so not completely useless. She's perfect for Junpei. Saki Konishi, I wish you were in the game longer. Same as you, Miss Yamano. And Wakaba. On to Kamaki. Honestly, what else could you want in a girl? She's literally a model. Erica Harlicker does a great job with her voice acting. In a fight, she uses a submachine gun and a whip. She's a team player and agrees to get drawn nude by Yusuke. She learns Concentrate and Maragadine, making her the hardest hitting magic user in your team. She fights for justice. She cares about her friends. She's a celebrity, but just like Hifumi, she doesn't let it go to her head. Did I mention she models? She also does this. And this.
I'm embarrassed. Could you look the other way?
And if you play your cards right, she says this in Hawaii.
I love you too.
Which is way before you get to a rank 10. A true waifu, A+ tier.
Did they get bigger again?
The gas station attendant. Well, she offers you a job, which means she definitely knows the value of hard work. I'll put her in D tier because she's actually terrifying underneath all that makeup. Eri Minami. She's already a mom, which puts her pretty low on my list already. Not only that, but she's a terrible mom, and she ignores her son, and her forehead is bigger than Haru's. E tier. Ai Ebihara. She's rich, she's stuck up, she's annoying, selfish, dramatic, full of herself, skips class and encourages her friends to do the same, and in the anime she drives you insane, which is actually pretty funny. I'm gonna be honest, I liked her, she was funny. She also gets in a physical fight with Chihaya, which is pretty ballsy if I'm gonna be honest. Not waifu material though. E tier. Chihiro, not to be confused with Chihaya, gets a D tier from me. She was just really boring. She has anxiety around boys, super shy, that's literally her whole character. She eventually gets over her anxiety by the time Persona 4 rolls around, where she appears as a cameo, so not quite trash tier.
My name is Chihiro Fushimi. I'm a third-year student and the student council president here at GeckoCon.
She beat me in every category.
That's a lie.
Chihaya, not to be confused with Chihiro, is the fortune teller girl in Persona 5. She's cheerful and super nice, and her confidant skills are almost as useful as Hifumi's. However, she's a gold digger, major turnoff, D tier. To even become friends with her, you need to buy a magic rock for 100,000 yen, which is a ridiculous amount of money at that point in the game. No thanks, Chihaya. You know how if you don't turn in an assignment in school, but you have a really good excuse? Well, it wouldn't be fair for the teacher to give you an A because that's for students who completed the assignment, but also she can't give you an F because you had a valid excuse. So what else is there to do but to just give you a passing grade of C and move on? Shiho, you are the equivalent of a passing grade. If you actually had some work to show for it, maybe I could give you a little bit more credit. Let's hope P5R treats you well. Okay, now we're getting to the big leagues. Sai Nijima. Sai is a better version of her sister Makoto. She gets an easy B tier, almost A tier. She's tall, she's mature, she's pretty, she's super smart, she's professional. She's got an amazing job and could probably beat me up. But she's also workaholic, which isn't always a good thing. She wants justice and nothing but justice, which I think is awesome. Data miners also found out that she was originally dateable, with certain voice lines indicating that she was gonna be a romantic interest. Persona 5R needs to come now. Here's one of my favorite characters and probably one that you've all been waiting for. Naoto Shirogane, the detective prince. Well, why is Naoto such a perfect character, you may ask? Why is it that she's at the top or near the top of every Persona waifu list? Well, it's obvious. She's just the best. She's sophisticated, she's talented, she's a genius, she's literally got it all. She's like 15 and she has a gun. Unlike the other Persona 4 girls, she can actually cook, and she won the 2011 Miss Inaba pageant without even participating. She can use Vorpal Blade, Dark, Light, and Almighty, and her third persona learns Shield of Justice, which shields the party from all damage. What more could you ask for in a girl? S tier. Speaking of goth chicks, we have Tei Takemi, goth chick extraordinaire. She's a doctor, so you already know she's a great person, and she doesn't even do it for the money. She genuinely wants to help people. Tei gets a B+ for me, not to mention she sells you SP Adhesive 3, which basically carried me throughout the game. Thank you, Tei. This next person is charming, has a great sense of humor, dresses well, and probably genuinely cares about the protagonist more than anyone else in the game. That's right. It's Teddy. Teddy gets a C tier. Kasumi Yoshizawa, the newcomer from Persona 5 Royal. We don't know much about her, but the few things we do know make me like her already. I already told you how I feel about ponytails. She can dance, her Phantom Thieves costume is amazing, and she's an accomplished gymnast. And I like gymnasts. B+. Now we're down to the final four. Any guesses? Fuka Yamagishi. The most underrated girl in Persona 3 gets an A tier from me. I know I'm in the minority here, but I actually enjoy her voice actress.
Look out!
I thought she was awesome. She was bullied in school, which made her the most kind-hearted person on the team. She forgave Natsuki for almost killing her, and she's just super adorable. She's great. Mitsuru, also an A tier, the most adult out of all the C's members. She gets me. She's refined. She's #1 in her class for testing. She's a competent fighter. She fights with a rapier. She doesn't have trouble expressing her feelings. She's rich, and she speaks French. Et moi aussi je parle français. Et qu'est-ce que je peux demander en plus? Now you'll notice that there's one glaring waifu missing from this list so far, and it's the one, the only, the literally perfect S+++ tier waifu. Aigis. That's right. Aigis. Even more so than Naoto, Aigis tops lists for not only the best waifus, but simply the best character in the whole Persona franchise. Not to mention she becomes the protagonist in the answer. Unlike anyone else on this list so far, she has the wild card, she has guns for hands, she loves the protagonist unconditionally, and pledges her life to protect him. She is literally perfect. Aigis is bae. Now I know what you're thinking, I said there were 4 more, and those were only 3. Well, the last one is Femc, S tier, because you should always love yourself. Yeah, that's about it. That's my Persona Waifu tier list. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with any of these choices. Maybe you can change my mind about some of them. But yeah, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. And if you want to see more weeby content, subscribe to the Asian Theory. And remember, I'll always be by your side protecting you.